In Ethiopia, there are two ways to find a job, the simple way or the hard way. Some youth, like myself, choose the simple but not very lucrative way. At age 9, I was a Quralew, a trash picker. Like orphans and street kids my age in Osana, I picked up household and industrial waste in the streets, collecting metals and plastic to buy food. As a hungry kid, I didn't realize the dangers. Often, I would come home with scratches on my back. As a hungry kid, I didn't realize the dangers. Often the scraps pressed through my back to where I carried the plastic. For all Quralew, young or old, this money helps, but it's not enough. This is the grim reality of millions of Ethiopians. I was fortunate to get out. Many don't. Now, I'm on a personal quest to make a difference.
Jobs can be hard to come by. Often, there are simply not jobs, no matter how hard people search. This is true in Ethiopia. 105 million people call Ethiopia home, 30% of whom are unemployed. And young adults are particularly hard hit. Official estimates place youth unemployment closer to 50%. And those that are fortunate enough to have jobs often are paid low, unpredictable wages, and may lose their job at any point. These 21 million youth are living in a constant struggle to meet their basic needs and provide for their families. And this struggle is worsened by poor living conditions, such as that created by poor waste management. Ethiopia is one of many nations without a formal waste management system. In the rural city of Hosanna, this means that 83% of household waste goes uncollected. That is 20 million pounds of garbage every year ending up in public spaces. I want to share with you the voice of the creator of REPI, a waste-to-energy plant located in Addis Ababa.
Growing up in Ethiopia, and even in my father's time, we've always known Addis to be a dirty city. Garbage is everywhere. It's outside your door, it's on all the rivers, it's in your parks, it's in your playground, it's all over your school. You lived with it, you hate it. Even after it has been collected, where it goes is even worse.
This waste takes an incredible toll, costing the lives of 153,000 people every year. When pollution isn't taken care of, it causes accidents, injuries, and illnesses. The top 10 causes of death in Ethiopia are caused by waterborne and airborne infections, which are closely correlated with the presence of pollution. Additionally, tragic accidents may claim the lives of dozens at a time, such as in 2017, when 113 people, adults and children, lost their lives when a mountain of waste collapsed around them. But where others see problems, we see potential. Our vision is to bring youth unemployment and waste mismanagement together to create lasting social impact. Inspired by Vinny's story, our team tackles the job crisis in Ethiopia while improving public and environmental health through proper waste management. This is the story of Quralew Co-op.
Quralew Co-op is a grassroots project with people and community as our priority. We formalize waste collection, public cleaning, and recycling industries in Ethiopia by providing employment to skilled and non-skilled workers in waste management activities. We connect the waste produced by the households to the recycling industries by collecting solid waste from residences, storing them in our sorting facilities, and then selling them to customers such as energy companies and recycling industries. Thus, we create an integrated waste management system that offers reliable and dignified employment while improving the standard living conditions of Ethiopian communities.
Waste management is is an industry with perpetual demand. Globally, it was recently valued at $265 billion, with an average anticipated annual growth rate of 6% over the next 6 years. In Ethiopia, as around the world, demand will continue to be driven by population growth, urbanization, and business creation, as well as growing public interest and environmental consciousness. Quralew Co-op has a number of potential customers. REPI, which opened in 2018, hopes to transform Addis Ababa's household waste into energy to generate 35% of the city's electricity needs. However, they are unable to reach their potential because of insufficient waste input. Currently, they're operating at a mere 50 to 60% of capacity. Therefore, all contributions can help further the sustainability of two cities. Additionally, numerous other small companies, such as Pagri and Incinerate, purchase higher demand recyclables like metal and rubber, and several existing construction companies use repurposed waste as building materials. The scale of our company will allow us to connect with a number of such businesses in order to form optimal relationships and become established in the Ethiopian market.
Quralew Co-op is entering an untapped market with no formal competition. The current waste trading scheme in Ethiopia is run by small-scale individual scavengers, which means that local industries don't have a formal or long-standing relationship with these individual sellers. This is the informal waste management system in Ethiopia. 83% of the waste produced by households is left uncollected in streets and waterways. A very small portion, though, is collected by scavengers who only focus on profitable waste such as plastics and metals to be sold to companies and other small rural traders. However, this system is inefficient. Most of the scavenged waste is left uncollected and polluted on the streets. Also, workers have to dedicate long hours for low and unpredictable earnings. More important, informal workers are more prone to injuries and diseases as they have to carry heavy weights and they don't have the proper safety equipment. On the contrary, Quralew Co-op offers a safe and reliable waste management system for household waste. We divert the waste from ending in public spaces by diverting it into collection bins and then into local sorting facilities. 80 to 90% of the collected waste can be reprocessed and repurposed by our customers, which are local energy industries and recycling companies. Our large scale or centralized network allows us to connect the waste directed to the recycling industries with no intermediaries, turning us into a profitable and efficient company. This system works better for our communities, better for our customers, and even better for informal workers. By drawing on current existing trash pickers as employees, Quralew Co-op gives the opportunity of small informal workers to better access to health, economic, and social opportunities. Thus, Quralew Co-op sees the informal system as a strength rather than as a competition. In addition, the following advantages set us apart in the Ethiopian market. First, we have the support of the local government in Ethiopia, in Hosanna. Second, thanks to the support of the great capitalism and other assets, we'll be able to become a viable and legitimate company. Third, we have the support of our local community. By being a Hosanna-based company employing local employees, we'll be able to form a stable, personal, and visible relationship with our customers. We'll also offer additional job benefits to our employees. Fourth, and more important, once we set operations in Hosanna, we'll be able to offer a safe, timely, and reliable waste management services.
In the past, one of the primary obstacles for waste management systems in Ethiopia is a lack of household buy-in. With a culture of unofficial disposal, households can be reluctant to participate in collection services, especially when there's a charge associated with them. We overcome this obstacle by offering our service at no cost to the households. Instead, we offer incentives, such as free collection bins, as well as household and school supplies, in order to encourage them to participate in our program. Additionally, our service requires little behavioral changes. Our pre-sorting is limited to 2 simple categories, and no transportation is necessary for the households.
But how do we turn trash into cash? It all starts with the households in our target cities. Osana's 20,000 households produce an average of 11,000 tons of waste yearly. This is about 20 pounds per household per week. This waste will be pre-sorted into 2 categories. Our employees will pick up paper and solid waste on a weekly basis and recyclables on a bi-weekly basis. Simultaneously to our collection services, a team of workers will gather more trash by cleaning public spaces in the community. This will increase our waste input and add to the more valuable plastic and metal categories. The recyclables are further sorted into categories of metal, plastic, glass, and rubber at the transfer facility. The paper and solid waste is sold to produce electricity, while the remaining material are sold to local companies where they are repurposed and recycled. Based on an average truckload of 9 tons, a single truck can reach 850 households in a session. Based on a similar company operating in Costa Rica, a single truck reaches 55 households in an hour. We have reduced this estimate to 35 households an hour to factor in transportation time to and from the facility, as well as other unknowns. Framing this into 10-hour shifts, our work week is 50 hours long, which means a single truck can easily reach 1,500 households within a given week. Each week has 10 shifts, requiring a driver and a collector for a total of 16 employees. An additional 13 employees are needed to sort the waste at the transfer facility and to conduct public space cleaning. Additionally, we have 4 management positions. Employment increases proportionally to the number of households served. In summary, it requires 33 employees to serve 1,500 households and process 2 million pounds of waste. This system is scalable to all towns and cities in Ethiopia. In year 1, we will begin operation in a subsidy of Osana Kofirmera, reaching 1,500 households. In year 2, we plan to maintain operations within the same 1,500 households to increase profits to cover expansion costs. In year 3, we will expand operation to 3,000 households. By the end of year 4, Quralew Co-op will be serving 6,000 households, creating 132 jobs, and processing more than 825 tons of waste. Our startup capital cost is approximately $86,000, and our startup operating cost is approximately $54,000, resulting in a startup budget of approximately $140,000. Our year 1 budget has taken into account all the necessary tools, equipment, and facilities needed for full launching and operation. We will finance this through creative capitalism, personal assets, Ethiopian grants, and other investments and loans. This is a very conservative estimate, and some of it can be accounted for through income as we progress. Quralew Co-op, our projected revenue was calculated based on the lowest published prices for selling sorted waste and recyclables, and we have included a discount factor to take into account the learning curve and unknowns. We sell waste according to various categories, including paper and solid waste, plastic, metal, rubber, and glass. Metal is our most valuable material, but due to high volume, paper and solid waste will constitute for the bulk of our revenue. According to a study conducted by the University of Washimo, paper and solid waste constitutes for 92%, which is sold at $170 per ton. Plastic is 5%, which is sold at $140 per ton. Metals is just 2%, which is sold at $700 per ton. The last 1% is rubber and glass, which is sold at $22 per ton. As displayed in the chart, the discount factor of 0.9 was included before calculating our revenue. For every ton of waste, our revenue is $206. It costs us $160 to process a ton of waste, leaving us with a profit of $46 per ton, resulting in a profit margin of 29%. Revenue increases as we expand to a new service area. Expenditure decrease in non-expansion years and increase in expansion years due to high capital costs. We will break even by year 2 and anticipate a profit of approximately $183,000 by year 4. We will use these profits to cover expansion and operating costs. Here, we have included a graph of possible scenarios that can affect our outcome. Each scenario differs by a discount factor taken on the revenue calculated. In our worst case scenario, where the discount factor is 0.6, we will take expansion slower to increase profits to cover capital costs for expansion.
Quralew Co-op wants to improve the labor standards in Ethiopia by offering the following benefits to our employees. First, secure position. In addition to job scarcity, employees in Ethiopia face job insecurity, meaning that they can lose their jobs without any warning and no compensation. Second, a generous wage that is twice the average in Ethiopia, a country with no minimum wage. Our employees will be able to provide for their families and also will set up a positive standard for the industry. Third, money management advice. We are aware that this will be the first time that many of our employees will be receiving a generous, reliable wage. So we'll offer them money management workshops on topics such as navigating the bank system or how to spend their salary sustainably. Fourth, career advancement opportunities, where an unskilled worker will have access to bigger responsibilities and higher leadership in our company. This is a win-win relationship. We'll be able to reward our employees for their loyalty, and as our company grows, we'll expand our hiring pool of applicants for management positions. Finally, we want to create a safe working environment for our employees. By providing gloves, tools, and focusing on safety policies, we'll be able to dignify the position of a trash picker in Ethiopia.
And these jobs are just the beginning. Each job not only supports the worker, but their entire family. Raising families out of poverty further benefits the entire community and the local economy. And the impact of properly managed waste is immeasurable. Our services will alter the waste flow and prevent millions of pounds of waste from polluting the streets and local waterways. By collecting directly from the households, we can handle more waste more efficiently, and by cleaning public spaces, we can target areas such as playgrounds and parks where we'll have the most impact. In addition to these direct impacts, by encouraging proactive participation from households, we raise a conscious awareness on the importance of waste management and create a habit of proper trash disposal. Taken together, we will have incredible change.
Already, we have support. Along with our board of advisors, we have government support to help us increase household participation.
As a multinational, interdisciplinary team, we have the diversity of thought, knowledge, and worldview, as well as the background through a public academic focus on public health and social justice, a 2-year-long entrepreneurship program, and experience in implementing businesses in Ethiopia. Quralew Co-op would change thousands of lives through the safe, dignified work of community members. With the support of creative capitalism, we can change the world. So join us in reducing pollution as a solution. Thank you.
Being a banker, I love the sensitivity analysis. You guys are being conservative, you're saying this, if things don't go the way they can go, this is how it's going to affect our bottom line. So that was very, very thoughtful and appreciated.
Excellent.
Did I catch correctly that you are now going to be asking the households to do some separation up front versus evicting before you're going to have to put everything into one bin? Is that correct?
No. From the inception, there are two pre-certain categories, paper and solid waste, and then recyclables. But for the recyclable bin, they put metal, glass, rubber, and plastic, all goes in one. The final sorting happens at the transfer facility.
I must have missed it, but what does discount factor mean?
So we have a lot of unknowns. One, we're unsure on the amount we can be paid per ton, as well as the amount we can pick up. So even though we have the lowest possible prices as well as the lowest amount that we can pick up, we've included a discount factor, so it further reduces your revenue to make it a more conservative estimate.
And how are you guys startup equity position? So if you win the 22,000, you guys are gonna have some equity, and then you plan on borrowing for the trucks and equipment?
We have a number of options. One of the ones putting up with our $140,000 is all the capital, all the operating costs we need for the entire year. That's our ideal situation because it would let us start our expansion process immediately. But we could also start with the lower capital costs and use like a single truck or a rented truck and begin slower in a smaller city and begin, or a smaller expansion area and go from there.
I really like the offering of education about the financials for your employees. Would that be something that they would be paid for while they were getting the education, or would that be only voluntary?
They will be paid for it. It will come towards their work week.
That always helps. What was the hardest part of writing your plan?
I think there's some delay in we're generating public or on-ground support in Ethiopia was a really important part. And so kind of getting communication, sending like a query, waiting to get a response, having a query back. So like as we're developing our project, there's this constant delay in like when we hear back. So in that way it was nice that Creative Capitalism stretched this long because it let us get to the point we wanted to be right now. Thank you.
Okay, so I just want to say congratulations to everybody that was here today. You all did such a fantastic job. You've come so far. The conversation that the judges had was that from the elevator pitch round to today, you all have made so much progress, and it's so indicative of the spirit and the community here at Earlham that is interdisciplinary, is constantly challenging each other to do better and to think bigger, and that has just been really represented here today. So I think regardless of where your team comes out in this competition, you should all feel extremely proud of yourselves and of one another for the work that you put into this. I know that we are. So we just wanted to make sure to communicate that we thought that all of you showed extremely large amounts of improvement, and that we're excited for the future of what you're doing. And I think that's really all that I wanted to say, is just to make sure that you knew that we're very appreciative for the work that you did.
Quralew Co-op has won first prize of $20,000.